Hey everyone. Um, I've started releasing as many of the recorded games that I possibly can, and this is a game that I recorded like 3, 4 months back. This was a training game for the WTC 23, and it's me against Mark from Denmark B. And Mark at this point was trying out Romanians, so uh, I am sorry for the glare. The recording was set up in our club basement, and there was a window that sort of gave it a little bit of glare. I hope you can still see what's going on. Unfortunately, I couldn't really set up a camera on from the top of the table, um, but it is as good as it gets. So we'll go and watch the game together, and I will do commentary as per usual. Right, here we go. Right, so this is my army. I have 3 units of Gurkhas. This was very, very close. I think it was the actual unit that I brought to the WTC. It's a truck and a unit of Indians. Then I had an inexperienced anti-tank rifle, 3 forward artillery observer, 2 airborne Docker jeeps, my inexperienced LVT with 3 machine guns, and then I had 3 Docker Stewards. That was my tank platoon. And I'll just skip ahead a little bit because this is Mark's army. These are allied Romanians. Second lieutenant with a body, veteran medic, commissar, artillery observer, sniper, medium inexperienced mortar, with a spotter though. Four late war units with a Panzerfaust, 4 pioneers with an SMG and a flamethrower. Lots of units here. 3 inexperienced trucks, a horse-drawn limber, which is described as a jeep here, and a what was that? A multi-rocket launcher. Right. We're playing sectors here. The first roll will be a roll-off to see who takes sides. I roll 5. Mark rolls a 3, so I decide. Now the choice here for me is to take a sector where Mark doesn't get too much line of sight to my stuff, and I can push forward. So which sector would you choose? For me, the one on the bottom right here is out of the question because that would give his multi-rocket launcher lots of line of sight down to my sector and 2 houses. Out of the question. I'm considering the sector where I'm standing, but I end up with the one at the bottom left here. And then we start measuring up the table. Finding the center, and I start moving all my stuff here. We're measuring out the table here just to clearly state where the deployment zones are instead of measuring for every single unit. That we always do this. And I have a whole box of these small tokens that I use for pins and for hidden and for measuring up tables and everything. Very useful. I'm going to skip a little ahead here just to get to the game. Right. So now we have to choose reserves. And since I choose sides, I also choose reserves first, and I put my vehicles in reserve because there's preparatory bombardment, so I don't want to be on the table. And since I have too many vehicles, I have to put something on the table, and I end up putting the LVT on the table. This was a bit of an experiment. It's really dangerous to do this because the LVT might actually die from the preparatory bombardment. Mark puts his vehicles and engineers in reserve, eight units. He's got a lot of units in his list. I only have 13 order dice here, which was low. It was the lowest anyone got at the WTC. Mm. So I get the first order dice for deployment here. We played the hedges as soft cover, line of sight blocking. Unless they're small. So I put my LVT behind the house here. This is a bit of a risk, but I wanted to be able to drive it through the hedge. The other option was behind the forest over here. My main problem here is his land mattress. So I want to be out of line of sight of his deployment zone initially. And then I want some area terrain where my vehicles can get cover. He deploys, what was that? I'm not sure. A commissar or something like that? And we end up in a short rant about HMGs here. Mark is a weapons collector and fanatic, and he knows everything about guns. So he was explaining something to one of the other players about HMGs. Mark gets another order dice. And he puts a unit of infantry behind the forest. The horse-drawn limber slash jeep goes onto the table. When we're just having these informal games, we do a lot of proxy. Then we buy stuff for the tournaments, right? But just to test out stuff. My Indians goes into the LVT. That means that they can man the guns for the pintle-mounted MGs. Really important. My boys anti-tank rifle also goes into the LVT. I know at this point that Mark's trucks are going to come on to my right flank. He'll. It's the only place that he can push with his vehicles with any meaningful result. Lieutenant with a buddy. No, sorry. That was a sniper that went into the forest. I guess. No, it can't be. What was that? Maybe this guy was the mortar. Mark is not really helping me here. He's not saying too much when he puts down his units. I think this is the lieutenant. Don't know what that is. Maybe it was his commissar, and this is a mortar. The inexperienced medium mortar, I think. Maybe. Another order dice for Mark. Another infantry unit goes down. This allied Romania is a really good selector because you can take so many infantry units. I put down a unit of Gurkhas behind the forest. Again, I'm wanting to be out of line of sight of any multi-rocket launchers here. And I want to spread out a bit so that he can't hit me by hitting one of the other units. Also notice the infantry that I've set down over here. Gurkhas, again, away from the house, conga lining. Classic bow. That was a unit more of infantry, I guess. Mark goes again. And I have my final unit of Gurkhas. We made a bit of a dice mess up because Mark had placed one of his dice in the center of the table. But I go first, and then Mark can put the last of his units. set up near the house here because it doesn't really matter. He can't target that unit, and he can shoot the house with his multi-rocket launcher, but that will still only get one of my units. Now it is time for the rocket launcher. He thinks about placing it right in the hedge here. But it would be a risk because I would be able to maybe move up and shoot him. He would be hidden. Might be sevens, but yeah. He's considering all the angles here. Yeah. Yeah. He puts it in the hedge here. The only place that makes sense because from that position he can see all three of the houses, and he's got lines of sight. Not to everything, but to a lot of stuff. He is a little bit blocked by one of those forests in the center. So now we roll for forward deployers. Mark is the first one. Places one there. He needs to place it a little bit further out because it's inside 12 of the center. And that is his spotter for his inexperienced multi-rocket launcher, or inexperienced medium mortar, sorry. He can't use the spotter, but he can push me out of areas, which is why he takes it. I place my artillery observer. Oh, the setup takes a long time. Here, I'm going to skip a little bit ahead. Right. Mark places something? A sniper? I think it's a sniper over here. What is it? Because he's standing with two guys there. That could be the sniper, couldn't it? That is the sniper. Okay. I don't remember what it was that was behind that house. Ready for turn one. Just picking up all the order dice, and then we're ready to go. Ah, look at that glare. I'm really sorry about that. It was a bright day and we were standing in a basement. Roll for preparatory bombardment. I don't get mine, but Mark gets his. Ah, well, it happens. Typical, right? I play British but don't get anything. The LVT doesn't get a thing. My Gurkhas get 2 pins. The second unit gets 1 pin. Third unit, 1 pin. And that was it. Very, very mild preparatory bombardment. I was really happy that my LVT didn't get squashed. First order dice of the game, and it's mine. And I go down with some reserves. At this point, I want to waste time. Because everything is hidden. If I move up against that land mattress, it will survive because I need to roll 7s. But I get these guys moving, and I run behind the forest again, just trying to not have him be able to hit me. Moving up and dominating the center early here, especially in sectors, can be really beneficial. So I move up to that forest where I'm safe from his shots, and I can sort of start pushing against his deployment zone. I get another order dice. I go down with reserves. Mark gets 1 here. He shoots my LVT just to pin it. And it is within range, and I get the pin. He rolls a 4. Now everything in that LVT is pinned, so I place 3 markers because I have 2 units inside it. Doesn't really matter if it's just a single pin, it's not very important. It's slightly annoying. Going down with reserves. Mark starts going down with reserves as well. There's nothing really that we want to have to happen on the table right now. Down with reserves. You'll see this in many games. This is the reserve game where we're wasting time in order to see if the other person gets to move first so that we can counter his moves. Down with reserves. Down with reserves. More down. Down, down, down. And Mark has so many units. More of my reserves. More of Mark's. Down, down, down. I rally the Gurkhas. I'm at a point now where I need to start doing stuff on the table. I get the rally. At this point, I want to wait a little bit with the LVT because I want to see if I can push up and maybe hurt that sniper, retaliate from his shot there, and run my forward artillery observer over there. I need him to be safe from the sniper, Mark has already spent his sniper doing something, so right now I'm just pushing him across into something scoring, and then to a point where he can see a little bit and fire his artillery shot. I'll often do this. I'll often deploy my forward artillery server where he's completely safe from snipers, and then once I know where the enemy snipers are going to go, I will run him towards some place where he needs to go. The Gurkhas, I take a little bit of a chance. I have them run. I do get the order test here. They had a single pin. One pin isn't. It does happen that you fail an order test, but not often. And you can see that I'm snaking here. Not very well though, because I'm really clumped up, but I am forming a conga line. Mark makes a really aggressive move and runs up one of his infantry units. This, I felt like at the time, was a mistake. You should not get into close proximity with Gurkhas. That is always really dangerous. But he has a lot of units to do this with, so I think he felt like he could support it. Mark's turn. It was a lieutenant. I don't know what was behind that house. We'll find out, I guess. But the two guys behind the house were the lieutenant. Infantry unit runs. Yeah, Mark is trying to flank me here. He's trying to push towards my flank so he can push into my sector. He spreads out. 7-man infantry units, really good size for skirmishes and just for the purpose of maximizing your the math on losses. I fail a rally test on my inexperienced boys anti-tank rifle. They go down inside the LVT. Mark's turn. The horse moves up. He wants it to be scoring, so he moves in towards the neutral sector. Mark advances. Run, run, run. Yeah, that's an infantry unit that he runs up towards the center line and the neutral sector on my side of the board. I was not displeased by this move, I have to say. I rally the Indians. That's the Commissar. Also runs. Mark here, we were just talking about that you can actually run through your own unit, so you don't have to measure around a unit, which he was doing, but he could just run through the unit. It gave him an extra inch. Oh, that's the mortar. The mortar's in the forest. He shoots. And he gets a 6. And he dies. That is the lucky 6. That is just yep. It will happen though. It happens surprisingly often. So that was my artillery observer. It's gone away. The LVT makes it. Turn. I can't remember why I made this move, but that does open up the machine guns towards the sniper. And since it's the Indians manning the guns, I'm not inexperienced because you take the experience level of the guys manning the gun. So it's small team, long range. Dang, 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 dang. 10 shots. 1. And he gets a pin. That sucked. I was hoping to kill him here. And I turned that way in order for both the guns to be able to see him. Mark runs an infantry unit again towards the center. Really being aggressive with his Romanians here. I think maybe too aggressive. Against the Gurkha army, it can be really dangerous to push forward. But he's up by 1 dice. Maybe he's feeling lucky. Mark goes again. The landmaster has nothing to do. It goes down. All its targets have gone away. So that was turn 1. Pick up the dice. I'll just for a sec here, I'll break this recording. Right, sorry, I just had to go and get a drink. We'll resume the game here. Ready for turn 2. First, Mark moves something into the house at the end here. Is that 1 unit? I can't remember what it is. Anyways, pick up the dice, ready for turn 2. And as per usual, dice goes on the floor. That always happens for us. Does it happen for you? Every single game. That 1 dice and it just bounces all over the place. In tournaments, woof, off it goes. Now, Mark gets the first order dice. He's debating with himself whether or not to push against the Gurkhas in the center. I think that would be a mistake, but I do give him advice on it. He tries it. It is a test game after all. So the infantry moves up. He tries to stay outside of 6 inches so that I can't charge him back. And he needs 6s because it's moved, soft cover. That's 5, isn't it? But is he experienced? I can't remember. I go down because there's a lot of shots coming from him. I don't need to die, and I don't need to get shot up. It's 5s. One person dies. One Gurkha. I lose one Gurkha. I bring on one of my stewards. And for me, that one unit up there was really open, so I bring up the steward and immediately shoot everything at it. And Mark, of course, goes down. Me forcing him down now means that his Panzerfaust is not in play, and I can push up other stuff way closer to him. So, here we go. Assault is set up. And if I can push through that one unit, that his flank is open and his own sector is open, I kill 2. No, 1. I have a tendency to hit with many shots, but I don't kill too much. That at least it feels like that. Do you have that? I mean, some people feel like they never hit. I feel like I never hit if it's just one dice. If it's just, that one roll because I got one cannon or whatever, I never hit. So I always want to have as many shots as possible. Mark goes again. He runs up more troops. He's reinforcing his center. I am still feeling very much like this is a mistake. He is feeding units in towards the center where I basically would want them to go because I can charge them and jump into his zone. I move one of my jeeps, and it is going to go up alongside the house to help with my assault. 12 inches, and I shoot at the mortar. Moved, long range, soft cover. I need 6s. But I got 10 shots. Should be maybe 2. One. Kill one. So he loses one guy. Takes a pin. At this point, I just want to push up as much as I can, pin down his units in his own deployment zone, and be ready to push into his deployment zone. He shoots his mortar, makes it, and he shoots back at the jeep. And misses. I am not worried by this because the jeep has recce and it can just move away if he shoots at me again. Me. Another jeep goes in. I roll an 8. I move up towards the forest. And I shoot the guys in the forest. Moved, soft cover, 5s. Four hits, 1 dead. Look at that! 4 hits, 1 dead. Me again. At this point, we do a short break. One of Mark's buddies came and visited. Right. Mark gets an order dice and he starts up his sniper. I had shot at the LVT, from the LVT, pinned him, and now he shoots back at me. He misses. He moves up. Mark moves up his infantry here. I get the order dice. I've run up my Gurkhas. Again, pushing towards the center here, making sure that his land mattress can't see me. Doing a little bit of conga lining, but not too much. Mark moves more troops towards the flank here. He wants to be in an area where he can take points. I can't get my jeep in. Or, no, it was a steward. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted here, because in-game we are talking to a guy standing like right behind the camera here. A new player coming to the club, just checking out the game, and we're sort of explaining what we're doing to him. My turn. I go on ambush with my LVT. I want to lock down the flank here. Mark gets an order dice. The land mattress shoots, and he misses everything. He wanted to hit my steward indirectly by hitting my jeep first, and then getting my steward, but he missed. My turn. I run up some Gurkhas. Conga lining. Mark moves up. Was that the commissar, I think? Here comes one of Mark's trucks. Now, he has a tactical decision. He chooses to push against my backline. He could have pushed into his own zone to defend. He chooses to be aggressive again. Mark is playing very aggressively today. Pushing up here, it's got pioneers in it. Mark again. One more truck. Nope. It does not want to come on. One more truck. And he brings it up alongside the other truck. Right, so he's pushing hard against my backline here. That forces me into a defensive maneuver now. I bring on one of my stewards. I move into the forest. The thought here is I want to have shots on those trucks, and I want to make sure that Mark is in trouble, and I want to make sure that his multi-rocket launcher can't get to my steward and my Gurkhas at the same time. So I move up here where I am in cover from that forest in the center, and I just start blasting away at the trucks. I want to stop them in his zone if I can. Three hits. Pins. The engineers rally inside the truck after I had given them that one pin with the steward. And Mark goes down with some reserves in his truck. Oh, I know what it is. The guy in the house. It's his artillery observer. He shoots the artillery observer down near the steward. He wants to take everything down there. Yes, that is what it was. He places it right in the center of the forest. My turn. I bring on my last steward, but fail the order test. Mark's artillery bombardment scatters. Eight inches that way. It's not bad for Mark. My LVT is out of range now. The range of the blast will be 9 inches. So it takes the Steward and the Gurkhas. Steward gets pins, 2 pins. Gurkhas gets pins, and they get 2 pins. So not bad. Not bad. Not worth 100 points. You can see that, right? Mark had paid 100 points for that. Not worth it. He felt like it would benefit his army to be able to deliver those pins for sure, but in this scenario against me, no. My turn. I start with my Gurkhas. I roll a 9 and I had 1 pin, so I am veteran, so I make it. So what do I want to do? I move a little bit up. I want to stay behind the forest here. I want to get within 6 and I want to start shooting. I want to skirmish Mark's units down so that I can start hurting him. Mark goes down. Moved, soft cover. And I'm at point blank. Moved, soft cover. Down, point blank, 6s. 2 hits. No one dies, but he gets a pin. See, I'm starting to wear down his unit here and pin it down so he can't do a thing, and then I'll charge him. Mark's turn. Right, Mark, come on. Make a decision. Mark has spread out a bit here. Can you see that? He's like got 3 concentrations of troops. One at the far end of the table, up here. One in the center, here, and one over here. I can now defeat him in detail if I can possibly get it to work. I've started to move in a way where I can sort of collect all my troops in the center in a minute. My far flank can move up here and swing in if it needs to. My center can move in and push through his center, and my troops over here can push towards the center here. So I'm feel like at this point that I'm moving very effectively. Mark pushes out his engineers. He gets 2 order dice in a row. Very lucky. Not what I needed to happen. Now my Gurkhas are going to get flamethrowered. He needs a 3. Hits. Couple of hits. 2 dead. Pins. And I get 2 pins. So I'm at 4 pins. And I am off. The Gurkhas are dead. He also has a Panzerfaust in that unit, but it's outside of range for the steward, and he has moved, and it's off cover, and it's long range if it was even in range. So, right, my turn. I move up and shoot the infantry. Mark goes down. I'm forcing his hand again. Can you see that? I'm pushing him down so that I can move. Having multiple units that can have that effect is really beneficial. And he loses 3 guys. That was not good for him. Me? No, Mark. He pushes up his commissar and shoots his SMGs at my jeep. He needs 2s. 6s. I take 2 pins and I'm down because I got a crew stand. I failed my order test. That really sucked. I have to move back from the closest. I had double pins, so it was a bit of a risk, but I was pretty happy that I got to move back because now he can't hurt me. My turn. I move up my Gurkha, second Gurkha unit. Advances, shoots. Now, mark goes down. I'm at point blank moved, soft cover. Now down as well. Two hits. One dead. Mark's order dice. We're still talking to the new guy standing here behind the camera, explaining a little bit about the game. He's used to playing Warhammer. Most of us starts out by playing Warhammer, right? I'll skip a little ahead. Right. So, right. That was it. Distraction over. The guy had to go home. The sniper shoots the LVT again. And he pins me. I get pins. Mark gets another order dice, pulls up his second truck. He turns. He moves towards the center. He feels like his center is collapsing a bit. I agree. He gets another order dice. He disembarks. Please notice the bad handling of the dice bag here on my part. Standing with my hand down it. Not good. Mark pulls out a unit of pioneers into the forest. Becomes really important how far the flamethrower can go. The flamethrower is within 6, but not within 3. He misses. And Mark runs out. Oh, that sucks, Mark. I am terribly sorry about that. He misses and runs out. Yeah. Then the rest of his dudes can shoot. So that's soft cover. He's got SMGs, I think. So lots of shots, but that was 3 dead, 7 hits. Oh, that Gurkha unit is way down in numbers now. Lost 4 dudes, I think, and it's pinned. Next order dice. Mark again. Mark shoots his mortar at the steward. And gets another 6! He gets another fucking 6! Yeah. What can you do? He gets a glancing hit. He gets crew stunned. So I've got 4 pins or something like that. Loads of pins, and I'm crew stunned. Down. Yeah. That steward is not doing a thing this round. Mark loves his mortars. I feel like that mortar needs to die, so I open up from my jeep. Long range, small team, soft cover, 6s. Ten shots. Come on, 6s. 1. 1 dead. Ooh, he needs to take the test. Last man standing. Come on. And he runs away. That was good. That was revenge. Revenge for those 2 6s. Mark again. Mark to go. Come on, Mark. We're not very focused during this game. We've got a lot of other stuff going on at the same time, but we were testing out lists. We were testing out, just training, making sure that the rules are where they should be, and our tactics as well. The landmaster shoots at the house in the hope of getting the jeep and whatever else he can take. It takes the one jeep. Nope. And the house? Remember to roll for the house. But no. I roll a double one for my LVT and I shoot Mark's sniper. Long range, small team. 5s. 10 shots. 3 hits. And the sniper dies. And we forgot to use the pins of the Indians. They had a single pin, so we redo the shot. So I need to roll 6s. And the sniper lives. Good idea here would be to rally the Indians first, and then they can still shoot the guns. Mark runs his lieutenant into the neutral sector here. I rally the anti-tank rifle. Makes it. I bring on my truck. Going somewhere where it can be scoring. It just needs to stay close to my tank and it'll be fine. Mark's turn to go. Mark disembarks his medic in the center. Me. The Indians rally. Mark goes. Right. Mark tried to bring on his truck. He fails. Mark goes again. He tries to bring in his infantry. They won't come on. And he goes down with the final unit in reserve. Now, does he push towards my zone, or does he stay where he is? What would you do at this point? He runs his artillery observer over behind the truck. My turn. Final steward. It's my command tank, so it comes in on a 9. And I bring it in to defend my back lines, right near the center here. I stay at a little bit of range. I don't want to be too open, but I try to stay out of line of sight of the land mattress. And I just open up on the engineers. Moved. I hit on force. That is going to hurt. Ten hits. Five dead. And I killed the Panzerfaust. That is bad for Mark. 5 dead, and he lost the Panzerfaust. So what does he leave? He leaves the flamethrower and the NCO. The rest goes away, and he needs to take an order test. And the final 2 dice are Mark's. The engineers make it. He runs up his infantry. That was 1 unit. Final unit will be the horse-drawn limber, I guess. And he runs the horse into the neutral zone. And we move on to turn 4. And I am going to take one more break in the recording. Just a sec, and I will be back. Right, I am back. Right, here we go. Dice picked up. Mark is counting off the order dice, making sure that everything is in the bag. Now, this looks to be a very important turn. Mark goes first. Yeah, he knows the charges are coming. He's thinking about moving the engineers. The engineers have SMGs, so they've got the most bang for the bucks. They're moving into the center of the wood. He's got 6 men left. And he shoots the large unit of Gurkhas in there. Soft cover. Soft cover, but point blank. I go down. So he needs 5s. 3 hits. 2 die. And he takes the NTO. And a pin. And I need my dice for going down. Mark goes again. He declares a charge, a surprise charge on my Jeep. He's within 6 inches, I can't react. He needs 4s. And he misses. So he bounces off. Bounces 4 inches over there. At this point, I would want to have my dice, and Mark gets a third dice. There's so much I want to do. There's so much I can do. But as long as he gets the dice, he can sort of try to stop me a little bit. He shoots. Mark makes an order test, gets them to move. If they were double pinned, the engineer, not engineers, the infantry in the forest. He moves out to take some shots. Six riflemen moved. Soft cover and pinned. Sixes, fives for point blank. I go down. I just want to survive at this point because I've got a lot of vehicles coming in to shoot at all Mark's stuff here. So the Gurkhas are just there to survive. Nothing. I weathered all his infantry in the center. That's good. Mark again. They get an order dice. At this point, I've stopped giving Mark too much advice. Mark is thinking about different options here. He wants to run his the remaining engineers to somewhere they're more safe. They can possibly survive and beat points. But I'm basically just saying not too much because whatever I say here would, yeah, I I would be very biased. Right? He runs them over there by the forest. That I felt was a mistake. I immediately felt, well, my Indians are ready to take on them. No problem. And now my stewards are free to move, so I push up. And I split fire. So I start whittling down the infantry here. The infantry near the hedge goes down. He chooses to go down there, right? And it's not long range. So, 6s. 2 hits. Nobody dies, but they get a pin. 5s on the guys in the forest. 1 hit. 1 dead. Could be special. And I kill the Panzerfaust. Mark activates some of the guys up there. That's the remaining of the infantry unit, but they go down. Mark runs his lieutenant, or what was it? I forgot. I think it was the lieutenant, yeah. The medic, we forgot the medic, so we went back and he rolled a 6 and the Panzerfaust survived. The medic moved into the forest here, and my turn. The LVT. And I shoot 10 shots at his lieutenant. Or is it the sniper this time? 5 hits. It was the lieutenant, and I wipe him. I think he should have run into the building. That would have saved him. Then I want to run my tank up. I've got 2 minus, but my command tank is right there, so I make it. And the second Stuart moves up. It's got 1 pin, it's moved, it's soft cover, but they're right there. I need 7s to hit, because they're a small team. 4 possible. Ooh. But I don't get it. Then it's Mark's turn. The land mattress shoots at the house in order to catch my steward. The steward is the only thing that matters. Nope. And the house? Nope. He's not been lucky with his land mattress this game. I don't know if it's even called a land mattress with it in the Romanian army. I don't think it is. Mark goes again. The sniper shoots. Delivers pins. I actually forgot this game that I had unsurpassed bravery. My Gurkhas could have re-rolled their morale test. Not that it would have mattered with 4 pins, but I forgot. He moves his artillery observer up. Shoots. Long range down. 5s. One hit. And I get a pin. My turn. At this point I had a very specific order in which I wanted my units to move, because I knew that I could kill a lot of stuff, but I needed it to be in, like, it was sort of a chess game at this point. So first I need to take out that one, which will open that attack, which will open this attack, which will... So I move my jeep here, and I shoot the commissar team, which had pushed up, try to charge me. I get 5 hits, and they completely die. So that is 3-1 in kills, my favor. Me again. I rally my steward, and I remove the pins. Mark takes his turn, brings in his last truck. Mark is thinking about maybe running the truck. Yeah, he does. He runs the truck up towards the center. This is a major mistake, in my view. That truck is now completely open to my steward's next turn, and he's down. That is way too aggressive. I felt like he should have run it up next to the house, behind the house, something. I get my Indians going. They're going to get an advance. They're going to step out of the LBT and kill those remaining pioneers. Moved, soft cover, small team, but point blank, 5s. 10 shots. Oh! Did you notice those dice? That was 7 hits. And they die. They're absolutely, completely trashed. Mark fails his reserve test here. My turn again. I rally the AT rifle. Mark goes again. He does 2 turns and moves his truck back towards his own zone. It has delivered the engineers that it needed to. Now its job is done. My turn. I move my jeep over and shoot the truck that has moved in. Michael was helping me decide if the truck had cover or not. It didn't. So it's just moved. That's a lot of hits. 8 hits. I need a 6. 2 sixes. And it blows up. And the guys inside get 4 hits. 2 dead. And he has to disembark. Mark's engineers are now pinned and down because they've emergency disembarked. He's in trouble here. He moves them into the forests in order to try and save them. Mark gets another order dice. At this point, it's 5-1 in my favor in kill points. We forgot to put the down order on the engineers. He still has a lot of units, and they are pushed pretty far up. Mine are not as far pushed up, but my attacks are developing as I want them. His are not. The only thing that's slightly problematic is my center, where the Gurkhas have started to disappear. Mark moves a truck over. remembering last minute to place it closer to his own troops. He's using it for cover. Can you see? It's blocking my line of sight down to his troops. My stewards are now out of line of sight. Then he moves up the horse. My turn. I move up my truck, setting up for next turn so that it can go and score in Mark's zone. I just needed to be closer to my own troops. Turn 5. I get the first order dice. Now I charge. I get the charge. I got 4 Gurkhas. They're charging into infantry here, and we fight simultaneously. It's Mark's late war, and he kills 1 or 2, and I kill 4. I get 5 inches of consolidation, and I move into Mark's zone. Right, next order dice. Mark. Mark shoots at my truck. So 2 units. No hits. The multi-rocket launcher doesn't end the house. Nope. That multi-launcher has not been effective this game. Oh, he hit the house. But he doesn't break it, so it doesn't matter. My turn. Right, I move up my Indians and shoot Mark's infantry. Soft cover moved, point blank. Force. He goes down. Sixes. Ooh, he decides the other way. He does not go down. Falls. Ooh, he should have gone down. 5 hits. 2 dead. 2 dead and a pin. That's the second pin that unit has. They are in trouble now. They're in real trouble. You can see the cascade of misfortunes have started to roll for Mark here. Mark gets an order dice. Mark activates his engineers. I go down. Soft cover down, point blank, 5s. 4 hits. 1 dead. Could be special. I just remove a Gurkha. Right. And remember to give them 1 more pin. My turn. Now, here comes the LVT. And again, throw a dice. It activates. I turn and move. 9 inches up. I split fire. So my 2 machine guns go into the infantry right next to me, and the hull shoots at the sniper. The hull will only hit on 7s, because it's inexperienced. Nothing. The others are manned by the inexperienced AT rifle, but it's point blank. But he's down, so 7s. And I get 1, and I kill 1. Another pin for these guys. They're in real trouble. Mark goes again. Mark moves up, right in front of the Gurkhas with his artillery observer and their SMGs. He shoots the Jeep instead, just because he feels like it's easier to hit and hurt. And I have not done a thing, so I recce. And his logic here is that if he didn't shoot me, I would shoot him. So, and he's completely right. Mark goes again. He activates his infantry on the flank. No, they go down. My turn. The engineers rally. Nope, they go down. At this point, Mark is running out of stuff to do, and I haven't even activated my stewards. At this point, I'm just waiting for him to do stuff so that I can activate the stewards without him going down. Now I move my jeep. It's got one pin. It turns, moves up, and turns again, and then blasts those infantry dudes. 5s. I kill one. I haven't been as killy as I wanted to in this game, but I completely control his units here. The truck moves up behind, and that was it. There is nothing more to do. That's the end of the game. I win. Thank you so much for tuning in. We didn't bother finishing this. There was nothing else that Mark could do at this point. It was all over. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the game. It was it's always interesting to see yourself again and to see what it is that you're actually doing, what was the plan, and think back and see if you can find what was I thinking at that point. Right, that's it. See you all next week. Cheers.